This is Mr. Burley at the York Catholic District School Board, and today's lesson is on AutoCAD. We can use the AutoCAD 2018 downloaded version, or we can use the online web version. Both will work with what we're about to do. I'm using personally the downloaded version right now, which hopefully we'll have installed in the lab soon. So what I want to do is I want to draw this picture here. And I see there's a few of them, so I'm going to get rid of a few of them. So I want to draw the orthographic view of this. So earlier in class this semester, we've drawn this all by hand. We've learned how orthographic works and so on. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at this side right here, and this is going to be my side view, looking at it here, bottom left-hand corner. So in this tutorial, we're just going to do the side view, and we're going to cover starting up AutoCAD. In the next tutorials, we will do the top view and the front view, and we'll learn how to do the projection and so on. We'll create this drawing very much like we're going to draw it by hand in class. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to start a new drawing. And when we do that, you can see we're looking from the top view here. And you can see this is my y-axis going up, and this is my x-axis coming this way, and the z-axis is coming out towards us. So if we were to hold the middle mouse button down, we can and hold it down. You can see it, the little hand there. That's allowing us to pan around, move the drawing around on the same plane. If you accidentally click anything and get lost and go, oh my, where's my drawing? All you have to do is go back to the home view for a second and click the top view, and you'll be right back to where you're supposed to be. So that will happen if you hold the shift key down and the middle mouse button down. You'll see it moves around in a three-dimensional world. We'll get into 3D a little bit later on in this semester, but right now we're just talking about a two-dimensional. So again, top view, we're right back to where we wanted to be. So we're working in engineering right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the drawing in millimeters and in engineering or decimal. So you come down and you click the A, you drop down here to drawing utilities. It's a little different on the web version, but we'll go over that after. Units here. We're going to make sure that that's selected to decimal. So in my architectural class, we select architectural, but right now we're going to go decimal. And we're going to switch that from inches down to millimeters. I need glasses. I can't see right now. Millimeters. There we go. Click OK. So now what I want to do is I want to start the drawing. I want to draw this guy right here, and we're looking at it from this view. So we're going to draw basically a box 55 millimeters long by 25 plus 10, 35 high, and then we'll do the little details. So let's start off by drawing this line upwards here on the y-axis, 25 and 10, so that's 35. So I'll tell you right now, there's many different ways to draw within AutoCAD. But before we get started drawing, what I want to show you is the layers themselves. So we're going to click on Layer Properties. And this, how to best describe this is if you take about 4 or 5 pieces of clear plastic and you lay them on top of each other, and then you've removed a couple of pieces of plastic and you draw something and then you lay the other plastics back on, you can still see the plastic underneath. So that's kind of how layers work. So I typically on layer 1 or layer 0, I leave that. I don't draw on layer 1. We use it for blocks later on. So later on, and I'll explain blocks are a bit later. So I want to create a layer, and here's how we do it. We create a layer, and we're going to call this layer object. And we can change the line types and the colors and so on. We're going to leave the line types for right now. We're going to leave the line types where they are. We're going to change the color to green here. I just like drawing in green. And you'll see the check mark is on this layer here. That means that that layer is active. So this layer is not. What we want to do is we want to move on to this layer. So I'm double click the object layer. And now whatever I draw, it will be in green. Okay. So the reason we want, I'll show you in a second, the reason we want layers is because if you can imagine, say for instance a drawing of a house, you can imagine there's electrical and there's plumbing and there's shingles and there's all kinds of different things, doors and windows and flooring and whatnot. So what you do is you kind of put everything on a different layer, and allows you to turn the layers off and on to simplify the drawing. For instance, if I'm working on the house and I'm looking at how the flooring works right now, I don't really need to see all the electrical, so I could shut that off. And how we're doing it here is We're going to put the dimensions on one layer. We're going to put the object on another layer. We're going to put the detail box on another layer, and so on. The notes on another layer. Allows us to turn them off and on and simplify things. Okay, so we're working on this layer right now, which is layer 1, which is our object layer, and means we're going to draw in green. So we can exit out of this, and let's just draw this in for starters. So right now, if I zoom in, you'll see these boxes. It's not grabbing those boxes. So just for a second, I want to click a line. Click that little guy right there, and it'll allow me now to draw. When I click line tool, it will jump onto a line. I just want to start on one of those boxes right there like that. And once I do that, once it's locked, don't click anywhere else, just come down and click that off. And now I can drag this up to my right height, like so, or I can just type the value in. You notice I'm facing upwards, and you notice it's locked up, so it's not on an angle, it's locked straight up. And I'm going to type in, for the dimension already, let's see what the dimension was. It was 10 and 25, so I want to type in 35, 35, enter. And now it's gone off the screen. Hold the middle mouse button down and drag it down, and at the same time zooming out, and we'll get the whole thing in. Whoops. Escape. Okay, sorry, it was locked on there. I don't know what I was going to. So now that's a 35 millimeter line. So now I want to create a line going this direction, locked onto the top. I want to come this way. I'm going to go Alt Tab, and that's 25 millimeters. So I'm going to come across, make sure it's straight, 25, enter. And now I'm going to go down. So how far down is this line from here to here? Well, if this is 25 and 10, that's 35. Subtract 15, so we got 20 down to there. 20, enter. And then we're going to come across to 55. So that would be 25. We got 55 millimeters long. I've already taken 25 here. So we got 25 and 30. So we're going to type in 30. So 30, 40, 55, right? 55, 25. And now we're going to come down. So now I can just grab that, drag this way, and you can see it lines up. It says, hey, that's where he wants to go. Come back to the start, like so. Hit the escape key. Now we have the basic shape. So now what I was telling you before, zoom in and out with the middle mouse. You can hold the middle mouse button down. You can pan around. And if you accidentally do something like this and go, oh no, what's going on? Just hit your escape key, back to the home position, top view, and we're right back to where we started. Okay, so now let's look at some of the other details we got to put in here. So we have to put in the line that goes all the way from across here. I only put this line, which is that right there. So I need another line down here. So that's 10 millimeters up. You see from here up, that's a 10 millimeter line. You won't see all these other lines here because they're obscured by this line here, or they're on the same plane or level. So line tool, click the corner and start walking up that way. And as you walk up, as long as you stay on the line, you go type in 10, enter, and it's locked in now at 10 millimeters up. Comes straight across like so until it locks onto that, and hit the escape key, and that's done. So now if you look, there's one little line missing, that guy right there. Not this one because he's hidden behind that, but this one should have gone right the way down. So all you do is you could trim that down, or you can just go line tool, grab them here, go down to here, hit the escape key, and that's now done. Okay, so that's the view. So in the next video, I'm going to teach you how to draw the project up to the top, project over here, much like we did on the drawing board. But for right now, I want to cover one more thing, and this is the reason I want to show you layers. So if you click on layers, and we're going to add a layer, and we're going to call it dimensions. Enter. We're going to make it active because we're going to draw on that layer. And we're going to change the color to, I don't know, let's say yellow. How about, no, red. Click OK. And now we're actively drawing on the dimension layer, which we can see it says dimensions. And I can actually turn off if I want to, and this is what I was going to show you. I can actually turn off, you can't turn off the layer you're on, that won't work, but you can turn off this layer, previous layer. So now I can't see any of the object because it's shut off. The other thing you can do too is you can freeze layers. So you can't accidentally delete something or change something on another layer while you're working on a layer above it or below it. So that's kind of another nice feature. And again, you can change the line types to heavy. Typically when we're drawing in the object line is thicker than it is with the dimensions, but we'll go over that afterwards. I'm not really concerned with that right now. So we're going to exit out of that for a second, and we know now we're drawing on that particular layer. Okay, so now we're going to go dimensions. I'm just going to change a couple things so we can see it. Modify. It's going to be a little small, so I'm going to change the here to, where's the size? Round off. Precision right there. So I'm going to change this to 2, just so I can see it nicer. I'll go over that with you in a second. This is the size of this particular thing. So when I went to draw it, it would have been too small. We wouldn't have seen it. We wouldn't have been able to see it. So dimension. I'm going to dimension this from here to here. Again, a little too small. I should have went bigger. You can see. And that's not right either. Why is it saying 50? Oh. Just a second. I made a mistake. Sorry. Bear with me. That happens. I changed the wrong thing. Scale is 1. Size is fit text. Here we go. Okay, so this is the text height here. I changed the scale of it. I want to change this the height of the text. So right now it's only set to like 180 microns, which is tiny. So we can set it to maybe, I don't know, 5 millimeters high. And click OK. And close that. And now when we come in to dimension it, that should, now it's kind of way too big, I think. So let's go back in and change it one more time. Might as well go over it now. This is going to happen to you as well. Let's see what looks nice. So we're going to go modify, back into text. 5 was too big, so let's go 3. I think 3 is what I used last year. Click OK. Close that out. Now we'll dimension it. Yeah, it's more reasonable. And you can change other things too. You notice the arrowheads are really small. I can go in and modify the arrowhead sizes. I can also, you see how it's got 3. I can change that as well. Within the same thing, going into the standard text and modifying the arrow sizes and the precision of it. So I can go back. I typically only go 2. Well, we'll go over that in a little bit later, but 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places at most. So anyways, that's not what this is about. I want to show you this. So now we measure this height here to here, and you can see that's 35. And we know we can do this line from here to here, and that's 55. We don't need this dimension from here to here because we already have 55. We can subtract that. We can figure that dimension out. What other dimensions would we need here? Well, we'd need this one right here, of course, which is 10. Would we need this height from here to here? We got 35. Yes, we would. We could either put this dimension from here to here, or we could put this dimension. So what we'll do is I'll click this guy from here to here, and I'll put this dimension right there. Not the best way to do it. I should have done a little bit differently, but nevertheless, that's, so you're looking now and you see, do I have all the dimensions? That's the most important thing. Double check all the dimensions and make sure you have them, because there's nothing worse than closing up the drawing and then only to have somebody knock on your office door saying, oh, you missed a dimension, can I get this dimension off you, and so on. So that's how you do dimensions. Now, if I come back in here one more time, I can show you now. I'm going to go back on to the object layer, like so, and I'm going to turn off the dimensions. So there we have, there the dimensions are gone. Okay, so turn the dimensions back on, layer properties, dimensions back on, and there you go. So when you print the drawing out there, all your dimensions would be correct. So we'll do a better job later with respect to the let me delete some of them right now, just show you how. Might as well just do it right now. Annotation, standard annotation, dimensions, modify it, precision. Where do you see precision? I really should get some glasses on. Text height seems to be okay. I might even drop it down to 2 millimeters. It seemed to be kind of large, so 2 millimeters. Arrows, you can make the arrows a little bit bigger. Arrow size maybe 1 millimeter. Let's see what that looks like. You can go to fit lines, primary units here. Right now we're rounding off to there. Let's round off to 0.00. Okay. Precision, sorry, it's up here too. There you go. Click OK. So there's we can go through. There's a bunch of different things here. You can go through and you can play with it and see how it changes. But let's go back right now and just fix it up. So I'm going to delete. Those are already fixed. So go back to this. I'm going to add my dimension. I'm still working on my correct layer, because you can accidentally switch new layers and all of a sudden your dimensions are in green. You don't know why. It's because you're working on a different layer. So come in here, like that's a perfect example right there. You see that? It's because I'm working on the object line. So let's go and let's kill him. Let's delete him. Let's make sure I go back and make sure I'm on my dimension line. That's another thing too. If you do something in a different color on each layer, you'll know right away if you're on the wrong layer. So then you're going to go dimension. I'm going to dimension this guy. He's 25 this time, looking better. I might make the arrows a little bit bigger, but they look pretty good as they are. The other thing too is I would probably go back in. You can set this dimension too. I like to be a little bit further away so that when I'm out like this, it doesn't look so obvious that it doesn't. You have to zoom in before you realize, oh wait a second, that's not part of the line. Okay, so I like to change that as well. I forget exactly how you do it, but it's in the annotations in here. Dimension, modify. Spacing, here you go, here. Should be in here somewhere, I'm thinking. Arrow size, maybe I make the arrow size just a bit bigger. Let's say make it 1.2. Line through here. I think this is it. Baseline, extend beyond. No, that's the part that goes this way. I'm looking for spacing. Anyways, it's in there somewhere. No, I'm not concerned about it. You can play with around with it and find it, but I like to make it a little bit bigger gap right there as to what that is. Okay, so that's this video. The next video we'll go over. We're going to show you how to project up and project over. For right now, we'll leave this the way it is. I'll save this file, and we'll see you the next time.